What are the types of data that you collect? What is your goal with that data? And how do you generally present that data?
One of the areas I've been looking at, trying to pay more attention to is engagement. And I tend to work in spreadsheets. I'm not good at the PowerPoint graphic visuals. So I was like pretty impressed with your storytelling, just laying out, oh, these are A and B in some of those scenarios.
I'm also seeing Anna in the chat, engagement, spreadsheets, charts. And if you don't mind, either with your microphone or in the chat, just to further elaborate on charts, is this using built-in features? I know you can create pie charts, histograms, bar charts within Excel, Microsoft
Yeah,
Sheets, things like that.
it's usually using the built-in. Once in a while, I'll do it on my own if the built-in is limited.
One of the data points that we're beginning to look at is AI readiness, both from a quantitative standpoint of Likert scale of comfortability, as well as qualitative feedback of how individuals and companies are feeling with the changes that AI is providing to the workforce.
Rather than just using that bar chart, what if you were to create a visual of right now it's the NHL playoffs. So you have the hockey bench, but you only have it 43% full. It doesn't have to be number specific accurate, but you can see just under half. Now you're thinking, why should I show this as an NHL team? But we could go even further with image editing and generation. So maybe I'm showing that same pie chart, but now I'm just putting the images behind and decreasing the opacity. So it's becoming more of a faint ghost-like image in the background. I'm just doing these side by side since we've already seen these images, but you could use AI image generation to create backgrounds for your presentations and just lighten up the image through the saturation or transparency in photos and PowerPoint or Google Slides or whatever tool it is that you use to do presentations. You could also very easily include this for printing purposes or creating PDFs. Once again, it's that visual engagement. We're thinking about how are these areas relating and how are the images pulling on our emotions, prior knowledge. Now, I keep using those terms because they're that important. That is what differentiates images from text, is that accessibility, prior knowledge, instant engagement. Well, the purpose was not to just simply say how many people are participating, but let's start opening up more possibilities. What happens when only a certain amount of the workforce has certain skill sets? They're going to be called on more. They may become more exhausted. They're going to have more, using the hockey metaphor, they'll have more ice time. They're going to be doing that role more frequently. But then what are the other side effects of that? And this opens up to, well, maybe we need to recruit more people onto our team. Or maybe we realize, oh, these are actually our all-star players. How can we recognize our all-stars differently within our company? And that is now a new story and narrative where you can start pairing a bunch of different visuals along with that through AI generations.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. Ed, I'm really curious because you've done so much with your cohort training, tracking data, using Power BI dashboards. What's going through your head? Any sparks?
Oh, exactly. And that's where, I kind of brought up the how do I prompt? So I was trying to take Nicholas's example of the Greenland losing 30 million tons of ice. So how do I present that data in a more meaningful fashion? So I kind of broke down some of the steps that he may have used where you're specifying the subject, quantifying the change, choosing the landmark for scale, because our Power BI, we're used to, our dashboards and our little RPM gears and that kind of stuff. But, if we can go through and we can show that we had 2,000 certifications this month, what departments are going through, how are we going to go through and compare that to last year using, like a hockey metaphor, like Nicholas was stating, those things could be more impactful than saying security has the most certifications. They had 35.